Not too long ago, the worst guilty pleasure a teenager could have was sharing a cigarette, sneaking out the family car, or even going out binge drinking.
But today, when teenagers have easy access to weapons, the rules of the game are changing fast. They are young, armed and dangerous.
For many boys growing up in North India, homework isn't only about tallying balance sheets. When a father's gun is at home, a high school feud can turn deadly.
हाँ भाई, अरे सामान सब तैयार है। तू आ तो जाए एक बार, बैग में सब में डालिए, तू आ जा। आज देखेंगे उन दोनों को। कल तो बड़े चौड़े हो के आए थे ना हमारे सामने, माथे में डाल देंगे, नाक रगड़ेंगे साले आके। भाई माफ कर दो, गलती होगी। कल तो बहुत चौड़े होते हैं। हाँ चल ठीक है, आ जा, फटाफट आ जा। चल ठीक, बाय। हाँ भाई, उस दिन बहुत बोल रहा था ना। बोला क्या कह रहा है? उस दिन क्या कह रहा था?
When the setting is perfect, the gun is pulled out. The balance of power shifts. Sometimes it's fired, sometimes it's not. But always, whenever a gun is present, everything changes. Abhishek Tyagi, dead at 14, gunned down allegedly by 14-year-olds. The Euro International School in Gurgaon instantly became infamous. Who was to blame? Parents, teachers, peer pressure. How did the gun get into the school? Everyone had something to say.
हमारे तो घर का दिया गया बुझ, हमें कोई न्याय नहीं मिले तो दूसरे घर का भी हम दिया नहीं बढ़ने देंगे।
हमारे पास कोई भी ऐसी खबर नहीं है जिसके अंदर इतनी ज्यादा बड़ी लड़ाई की बात है।
They're all victims of this culture of aggression and hate. Of course, the parents are to be blamed.
Then 1 month later in Satna district of Madhya Pradesh, a 15-year-old is shot dead allegedly by his schoolmates. There are debates and frenzied comparisons with American-style campus shootouts. Had the gun culture arrived in India?
You have the rich people's students now in excellent schools, now by the same culture, the same philosophy, now shooting each other. It's a beginning, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm worried that I may yet have to see the day when the numbers here in India of school kids being shot will keep increasing.
Abhishek's father, Ravinder Tyagi, is appalled by what he says was the methodical approach of his son's killers.
तो इंसान से अनजाने में गलती हो जाती है तो गलती का एहसास होता है, लेकिन उन दोनों के चेहरे पे वो चीज़ नहीं है। उन्होंने तो पहले दिन ही यहाँ पुलिस स्टेशन में बयान दिया था, हाँ हमने मारा और मार दिया। वो हमारे से भी पड़ता था, हमने मार दिया, अपने रास्ते का कांटा हटा दिया।
Tyagi cannot cry or reason anymore.
बंदूक अगर ना होती तो वो मरता ही नहीं, ये काम ही नहीं होता फिर। चलो लड़ाई झगड़े में चोट फेट लग जाती थोड़ी बहुत, बंदूक नाम थोड़ी पूछती है किसी, वो तो कोई भी हो चाहे।
आपके पास भी लाइसेंस है?
हाँ है ना।
After Abhishek's death, his father renamed his transport company after the son he lost. Photographs and memories are all he has to live with.
अब सजा तो जी वो कानून के दायरे में मिलेगी, हमारे कहने से क्या होता है। जो कानून बने हुए हैं उसी हिसाब से तो मिलेगी।
Gurgaon's landscape has changed over the last decade. The boomtown on the outskirts of Delhi is flush with new money. High-rise apartments and shops selling real estate sit next to posh schools. Schools that cater to the children of some of India's new rich. Property dealers, traders, transporters and landowners. Many of whom would much rather secure their well-being with a private gun than leave it to the state.
Gun earlier used to be, a show of landlordship. Today it's becoming a necessity for some of them because they're carrying cash and they're going into areas where there is nothing called policing.
Tanvi Dhamija killed herself with a .32 bore licensed revolver her father kept loaded at home. She was 17.
लेसन से थे जी। नहीं, हमने लॉकअप में थी, पर अब बच्चा अगर एक 16-17 साल की उम्र में है तो लॉकअप में कोई ऐसा तो नहीं समझ सकता कि आपकी भाई बच्चों से कुछ छुपा हुआ होता है। लॉकअप में उसको पता है मेरी कीज़ कहाँ पड़ी हैं पापा की या कुछ है तो।
The trigger, a phone call from Tanvi's school asking her parents to come over.
ऐसा नहीं सोचा था कि इतना बड़ा कदम उठा लेगी। जहाँ तक हम सोच पा रहे हैं कि उसके मन में सिर्फ इतना ही डर था, शायद एजुकेशन का जो उसका रिजल्ट आना है, शायद उसको चांस ये था कि शायद वो इतना नंबर ना ले पाए या ऐसा कुछ है।
Tanvi's parents are still traumatized, but they say academic pressure and not the availability of a loaded gun was responsible for their daughter's suicide.
Gun was put in there by the parents, so they don't want to somewhere feel guilty that, you know, they have helped the child do whatever the child did.
This is little Krishan, the 10-year-old who shot himself in the head and bled to death.
गोली लगी थी यहाँ कान के पास गोली लगी थी और दूसरी तरफ से आर पार हो, बिल्कुल उसका जो देखा गया था उसका ब्रेन ही एकदम से बाहर निकला हुआ।
The little boy killed himself with this desi katta or country-made weapon. The family stated complete ignorance about the presence of a firearm in the house and the cause of the child's suicide. The FIR charged the dead 10-year-old under the Arms Act. City papers gave the story a small column. Two hours from Delhi, when we reached Krishan's home in Fulwari village in Palwal district, the villagers, scared of being probed for keeping illegal weapons, went on the defensive. Krishan's uncle, who also happens to be the sarpanch of this Gujjar bastion, chose to blame the dead child's fate rather than acknowledge the worst kept secret in the village, that illegal guns find respectable homes. Not one man in this small hamlet was willing to explain how a 10-year-old playing in his own home could find, load and shoot a country-made pistol without anyone in his family getting a whiff of things. Kuldeep, who saw his brother lie in a pool of blood, repeats what the village elders seem to have learnt by heart.
नहीं, हमको नहीं पता कहाँ से लाया, कहीं खेल रहा हो जब लिया, पर हमको पता नहीं कहाँ से लाया.
It's a story this village wants the world to forget. The Palwal police say their job's done with charging the dead 10-year-old under the Arms Act.
तो अब तक की तफ्तीश से हमारे पास यही आया भाई ये बच्चा ही इसको जो देसी कट्टा था तो ये खरीद कर लाया था, इसलिए बच्चे पे लगी.
To put his name under this Arms Act shows the complete ignorance and stupidity of even the people in power in the police station who's allowing that statement to be written to say that this 10-year-old boy has been made to be charged under the Arms Act just because he happened to have a katta with which he shot himself.
These children did not have to walk out of their homes to get guns. The weapon was made accessible by their own parents. Parents who did not see the consequences of keeping a lethal weapon in their homes.
Coming up next, we travel to a place where teenagers can get their weapons of choice home delivered.
ये बनते यहीं हैं शहर में ही, सब कोई किसी घर में फैक्ट्री लगी है, कोई कहीं पर लगी है, करीब सब जगह फैक्ट्री लगी है. 32 का सामान है ये पीतल का है, ये कोई 3000 रुपये का सामान है.